In this video, we'll have a look at using logical operators in Python, and we will have a look at some use cases as well, how the logical operators are used in Python. Logical operators are used to combine or manipulate operations on expressions. An expression is a combination of operators and operands that is interpreted to produce some other value. An operand is a variable that contains a specific value that allow you to perform operations based on multiple conditions. There are three main logical operators in Python, which are: the first one is AND, which returns true if both statements or operands are true. So we can see in the table, if it's true and true, then the result will be true. But if it's anything else, it will result in a false, because they both have to be true. So true and false won't work, because both of them have to be true. True and false are false, false and true are false, and false are false. The next one is OR. OR returns true if at least one of the conditions or operands is true. So we can see in the table, true and true equals true. True and false will give us a result of true. And false and true will give us a result of true. But false and false will give us a result of false, because at least one of these conditions needs to be true. So false and false, of course, gives us a false. And the third statement is a NOT. NOT returns the opposite. So if it's a true, it will return a false. And if it's a false, it will return a true. And this table shows us some brief examples of the AND or NOT operators and how they are used, but we'll be having a look at these examples in PyCharm. So here are some use cases, and you may understand this at the end of the video when we have seen how those operators work in PyCharm. This one is looking at the battery level check in IoT devices. In IoT devices, you can check the battery level status and whether the devices is connected to power on or not. So it's got the battery underscore level equals 15, and then whether it is connected to power, which equals false in this case. So if battery level is less than 20 and not is connected to power, so we can see the and the not operators are used in this one, and they're used to combine two conditions, checking if the battery is low and if the device is not connected to the power. Then we will print low battery, please connect to power, else we will print device has sufficient power. So if both are true, the user is notified to connect to power. Now here are three simple ones. So input validation, you can check multiple conditions to ensure user input is valid. Username Jack and the pin 12345. If username Jack and then the logical operator and pin equals 12345, print access granted. So it will only print access granted if both of these are true. Now, decision making in games. Logical operators can help evaluate the game conditions. Has underscore key equals true. Door underscore locked equals false. So if has key or, so we're using the or logical operator, door underscore locked, then we print you can open the door. And the last one of the simple ones is combining conditions. So logical operators are used in if statements to combine multiple conditions. For example, temperature equals 80 is underscore sunny equals true. If temperature is greater than 70 and is sunny, so we're using the and logical operator here, then let's print it's a great day to swim. Let's have a look at some examples in PyCharm. First, we will have a look at some very simple examples of the logical operators, and then we will have a look at using logical operators with some typical use cases. If we create a variable x equals 20, and let's print x is greater than 10 and x is less than 30. And because we are using an AND condition, both of these have to be true, and they are true because x is 20 in this case, which is greater than 10 and less than 30. So let's run the file, and it's returned true. Or what we can do is change the statement to an OR. So this time only one of these have to be true. Let's change this one to 15. So because still x is greater than 10, 20 is greater than 10, even though it's not less than 15, it's greater than 15, it should still return true because one of these is true. This one is true. So let's again run the file, and we get true again. And because the statement is true, to get the opposite we can use the not statement instead. What we do here is we specify the not and use parenthesis on both sides. And now if we run the file again, we should get a false instead, and we get a false. Now if we look at a real world situation where we can run this, let's make something up like made underscore profit equals true, summer equals true. Now if we type if made underscore profit and summer, colon. Let's print book a holiday. Otherwise, if one of those is not true, let's print. Keep going and you will get there. So now, because both made profit equals true and summer equals true, it should print book a holiday. Let's run the file. And it shows it prints out book a holiday, but if we change this to an or instead, and let's change one of these to a false. Well, actually, in this situation, it will still print out book a holiday because either of these have to be true now, or so one of these have to be true, and because made equals profit is still true, even if it's not summer, we can still book a holiday. So let's run that again and it still prints out book a holiday. But if we change both of these to false, this time it should print out the else statement instead, which is keep going, and you will get there. And we can also do all of this with user input as well. So if I start from the very beginning again, and let's type profit, if input, how much money did you make today? And then we can do if profit is greater than or equal to 50 and profit is less than or equal to 100. Let's print. You made a regular day's profit. And let's also print. Good luck tomorrow, and if you make 100 or more, you will exceed your target. One thing I've missed out is I need to specify the data type of integer. And I've got my indentation wrong as well, so let's remove that. Let's run that. So it's asking how much money did you make today. Let's type in 70 and it will print out you made a regular day's profit, good luck, and if you make 100 or more you will exceed your target. But if I type in something that is below or above the threshold, let's go with 101, it will print out nothing. So basically it's not printed out these statements, it's got nothing else to print out because there's nothing else here. We can add things in if we wanted to. Let's start by fixing this indentation as well. Let's just bring it back a little bit, and then we can use, let's say, an elif statement instead and do something like profit. So if profit is less than 50 or profit is greater than 100, let's print. So that needs to be on the same line. That's missing an I. That looks better. So if we run this again, how much money did you make today? And let's type in 20 this time. So it's below 50 and it should print out the second statement. So here we go. You did not make any profit or you exceeded your target. And that's a perfect example of using the or statement. So here we're saying if it's below 50 or it's above 100, then we want to print this statement out here. Where this statement we are saying if it's between 50 and 100, print this statement here. So we use an and. And this is just an example. There's thousands of use cases out there for this. It could be about the temperature, it could be about the time of the day, or anything else. And with not, you just specify the not statement as we did previously in between, and we can do that for this one as well. So this time if I specify 20 again, I should get the opposite and I shouldn't get this statement. So let's run the file again. And there we go, we get the opposite. You made a regular day's profit, good luck tomorrow, and if you make 100 or more, you will exceed your target. So I've got the opposite output. And that's the last of the operators. That's how we use logical operators.